the base where the Van Hove-Uytterhoeven colony is based on, is a story like no other. During the Second World War, it was forbidden to keep pigeon, and those who didn't want to slaughter their pigeons could bring them to aviaries in Anderlecht and Schaerbeek. Of course, against a high price. Evrard Havenith, back then one of the Antwerp glories, feared that after the war years nothing much would remain of his so famous and feared racing team. He liked to be better safe than sorry and brought an entire round of eggs to Jos Uytterhoeven. If things went wrong, he could always get back to his old strain after the war. Havenith got his pigeons back after the war, and the Havenith pigeons remained in Putte. For Jos Uytterhoeven, a blessing, as this solid base brought him a lot of success, but also, later they formed for 90% the foundation of the loft Van Hove-Uytterhoeven. On a loft, made out of old beer crates, was OUDE FLIPPE, a pure Havenith, the base breeder of the loft. As youngster, he was a super pigeon and won in 1972 together with Kennedy, the car out of Tamps. He moved afterwards to the loft of Van Hove-Uytterhoeven, where he rather quick got the status of being a top breeder. In 1973, Gust and Mit Van Hove built a new house and also a pigeon lofts. The new lofts were built with the profit where they made from the old loft. So they started with a lot of enthusiasm racing pigeons on their own account, and as the colony existed for the bigger part out of pigeons from Jos Uytterhoeven, the name Uytterhoeven was being kept in the tandem name. The OUDE FLIPPE was at the cradle of the young Van Hove-Uytterhoeven colony. His son late Flip was a better breeder. OUDE Banj cross Perilch formed the first years a real top couple. Carefully some new blood was added. Hofkens 1 and Hofkens 2, both from Karel Schellens, and a few pigeons from Floor Engels and Sons, Putte, co-breeding with the 5 best breeding cocks and hens. The golden strain was kept with the super breeding couple Golden Boy cross Annabelle, and both on mother's side as on father's side. The inheritage goes back to the OUDE FLIPPE. They formed the back spine of the colony who would harvest world success, and that would claim a spot in between the national and international elite. It isn't given to all champions to remain at the top. The art to support a strong and solid breeding base, and to strengthen possibly with new blood, is so difficult. But son Geert, who learned a lot from his parents, does have apparently that fingerspitzengefühl. To keep the successful breeding lines even more, to strengthen them even further with new breeding phenomenons. Geert strengthen his back when he starts telling our biggest goal is to discover the ultimate breeder, but that it is easier said than done. We do on strain breeding, and the big blood strains throughout our colony are the Flip strain, the strain of the Golden Boy, strain of Banj 2 and Jong Zanzibar. These blood strains were being crossed in amongst each other, and we added for 20% strange blood. During the years we found out that the crossings with this strange blood works really well. We were very successful with pigeons from Van den Abel, Bliksem strain, Chris Clairbot, Lady Dolores strain, and Vervloesem, Pattaya, and Bangkok strain. Golden Boy cross Annabelle is a super breeding couple, but Golden Boy coupled against another hen was also more than once bingo. Discovering a good breeding couple is of course a good cause, but discovering a super breeder who gives good offspring with several different hens is a 6 in the lottery. We found such a super breeder in the Bangkok strain. The Superior Bangkok, B11 626 3281. When Geert has to point out a certain cock as headman of his breeding loft, he doesn't doubt for a minute and points out Bangkok, original Vervloesem. Underneath a short overview of what this unique breeder has trapped onto this world. What strikes us especially is that we could point out to more than one generation where the breeding value of Bangkok is so determining. Bangkok is the father, grandfather, great-grandfather of the multiple race winners. The season was spiced with 1 national and 3 provincial victories. Since 2018, they draw again the card of the pure widowhood. Experience thought that especially cocks that were being raced on total widowhood couldn't perform that well. The past years the youngsters weren't being tested enough, so Geert had yearly a large team on unexperienced year birds, 70 for this season of 2019, and that is something he changed in 2019. The youngsters were being put on the national races, and that is something that the competitors knew. On Berg's National, They started with the 7th National against 28,319 pigeons, great-grandchild Bangkok, and Uytterhoeven. They started with the 6th National, grandchild Bangkok, and a 10th National, great-grandchild Bangkok. The amount of old pigeons in the racing team was very limited, with only 9 old cocks and 11 old racing hens. De valence, B 17 620 65 70, First National valence, 682 kilometers, against 7,974 pigeon. Thank you for watching. Until next time.